The Biden administration's actions in Afghanistan are disastrous on so many different levels. Number one, the 13 U.S. servicemen killed unnecessarily in a suicide bomb blast that could have been prevented had the United States secured the airport and really secured the periphery around Kabul. And number two, the United States has essentially weaponized the Taliban and indirectly through the Taliban, all the other terrorist groups, not to mention other hostile countries. I was struck yesterday when Robert O'Neill, the man who got bin Laden, said the United States has become kind of a state sponsor of terror. Wow. We've been fighting terror supposedly since 9/11, and now we are the subsidizers. You and I are the subsidizers of it against our will, I should add. Now, I want to focus here on the betrayal of not just Americans, but also Afghan allies. Even though the Biden administration implies that they pretty much got everybody out, amazing airlift, the simple truth of it is we've left a whole bunch of Americans. No one knows quite how many. The Biden administration is very slippery in the way it does its count. They count Americans who supposedly want to leave as opposed to those that's want to stay and be ruled by the Taliban. Really, give us a list of those people. Let's hear from them that they're really happy. Oh, I think I'm just going to stay. It's really nice around here with the Taliban. Nonsense. Now here's a Sacramento school district saying that 24 of its students are still in Afghanistan. Amazing. We haven't heard much from Jen Psaki or Anthony Blinken about them. They haven't gotten them out. A Taliban folk singer was executed. Why? He was executed because music is evidently forbidden in Islam, at least according to the Taliban's reading of Islam. Here's a little look at this guy's music. Take a listen. I mean, come on. I mean, think about this poor guy. His name is Fawad Andarabi. And the Taliban guys came to his house. They sat down and had tea with him. And then before they left, they shot him. This is who we're dealing with. This is a singer, by the way, who played on a bowed lute. It's called the gichak. And he sang traditional songs about his country. That's it. So this is what the United States has now not only left in Afghanistan, but you may say weaponized in Afghanistan. And then an Afghan interpreter. This is, by the way, a guy who saved Biden's life. Now, I'm not going to hold that against him, but evidently Biden was in Afghanistan. He was in Afghanistan with actually the current Secretary of State, Blinken. They were on with John Kerry, Chuck Hagel, Republican from Nebraska, and these guys got stranded in the mountains. And this was in the middle of heavy fighting between U.S. forces and Taliban forces. And this interpreter, a guy named Mohammed, they're not releasing his last name because he's in grave danger now. He's hiding in Afghanistan from the Taliban, which is trying to find him to kill him. And this is a guy who basically contacted someone from the Wall Street Journal and said, please get me out. And then here, by the way, is Jen Psaki, right? And listen to the condescension and just sheer ignorance of her statement. She goes, our message to him is to thank him for fighting by our side. Really? Thank you for the role you helped in helping a number of my favorite people out of a snowstorm. Wait, this wasn't a matter of just rescuing them from a snowstorm as though this guy kind of, basically trekked out the snow's kind of heavy. No, this was in the middle of crossfire. This is a guy who risked his life. This is the kind of guy we want out. We want to bring to America. This is probably a guy who will contribute to America. Here's the Wall Street Journal, by the way. Quote, this is their headline. Majority of interpreters, other U.S. visa applicants were left behind in Afghanistan. So, the significance of this is that although the U.S. has evacuated 123,000 people, by the way, only 6,000 of them U.S. citizens, the U.S. implies, these are the people really helping us. These are the translators without which we couldn't function. No, the majority of translators are still in Kabul. They're still in Afghanistan. They're probably being hunted down as we speak as the Taliban goes door to door. The State Department has admitted, quote, that they don't have data on who they have. They don't know who these people are that they're bringing to America. In fact, they go, I'm now quoting the State Department. This is State Department spokesman Ned Price. He was asked, who are these people? What do you know about them? Here's what he says. Much of that information is going to be forthcoming, meaning we're going to get it. Once these individuals have cycled through transit points in the Middle East, in Europe, and for those being relocated to the United States, relocated here. So simple truth of it is they're bringing a whole bunch of people, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. They don't even know. They're going to have a talk with them once they get to Dubai or once they get to Copenhagen or to Paris. Sit down. What's your full name? Who are you really? This is the way our government operates. It's absolute and utter chaos. And then finally, the U.S. State Department is boasting about the fact that they've got a signed agreement, a quote, joint statement. I think this is really what Anthony Blinken means when he says we're leading with diplomacy. A joint statement from 100 countries calling for Afghans who want to leave to be able to leave. Now, just think of the sheer vacuousness of doing this. 100 countries are calling for it. What does calling for it mean? What are you going to actually do to make this happen? Nothing. We're going to issue a statement. What is this, moral exhortation on the global stage? This is what I think the Biden administration means by, quote, holding the Taliban accountable. So they use these phrases which mean one thing to us in one context. We think, oh yeah, this guy's going to be held accountable. There's going to be consequences. But what are the consequences? There are no consequences. Perhaps the only consequences that the United States are going to go, well, listen, we're not going to give you quite as much money as you're asking for because you're misbehaving. You're not letting our people leave. We're actually getting ready to give money to pay ransoms, in my opinion. They won't be called that, but that's what they are, to what now has become the most dangerous terrorist regime in the world.